So let's talk about what it's been like. There we go. Being a woman in technology, and it hasn't always been easy, but I'm kind of grateful that I've gone on this journey. Anyone use Twitter? I know, Twitter's like for the old people, right? But I tweet some pretty crazy stuff sometimes, so feel free to follow me on Twitter.
And me.
Oh yeah, and she's SDN daughter, so we tweet some crazy stuff. So some of you weren't, most of you weren't born in 1984. I said the year it was. Oh darn. Okay. All right. I just blew it. So what year was it when doves cry?
1984.
All right. Beverly Hills Cops.
1984.
Bi-level hair. I can't believe I just blew that.
1984. That's what?
Bi-level hair. Okay, this is the Joe Dirt hair, right?
With the mullet?
Yeah,
That's
mullet. Like business in the front, party in the back.
Hey, what bloomer?
Men wore short shorts.
Still do.
Right.
Crop tops were in.
1984.
On men.
Yeah.
Right?
They are running.
Cisco, anyone heard of Cisco Systems?
1984.
Yeah, that's when Cisco was founded. Anyone recognize this school uniform? Nobody went there? I went there. He went there. I went there.
Is it DeBerg?
It's DeBerg. It's DeBerg. Anyone recognize the person in the picture?
You?
Which one?
The one on the left is you. The right.
Yep, that's me.
Oh.
Okay, so what year was it? It was 1984. All right. 1984. 1984. And that was also the year that I was told by my dad that it was a waste of money for girls to go to college. So my mom and I came up with a plan, and we said that I had scholarship and student loans, and that's how I was going to go to college. And I was going to study a career perfectly good for a woman. I was going to be a graphic designer. And I got my degree in graphic design. No kidding. That's what my degree was in. So, I got my degree from Bradley University in graphic design. And I spent 4 years as a graphic designer. So how did I become an engineer? Well, a guy was opening up a New Horizons computer training center. And I knew how to use a Mac. And nobody really knew how to use a Mac those days, so I became his first instructor. And that was pretty cool. And our theme was, I was the only instructor, and he was the first, he owned it. He borrowed out of his mom's 401k. I was 24, he was 27. Our theme was no adult supervision. And we started this, well, it was his money. I had no interest in it. We worked really hard with no adult supervision. And in a couple of years, there were 40 instructors, and it grew pretty big, pretty fast, right? And I started teaching more and more technical classes. And then I started speaking at these big events. First time I spoke at a big global event, I was 28 years old. I spoke at BrainShare. Back then, it was on BYU's campus, and there were 2 women speaking. The rest were all men. The other woman, Laura Chappell, she started branding herself. She branded herself, sold hats that said, I pee, therefore I am. Pretty clever. Nobody branded themselves then. Nobody did their own marketing back then. And they had Tony and Tina, the brain-sucked pinheads, stupidest logo ever. So I started talking at all of these events, and I started getting known within the industry. But for the life of me, I was stuck as an instructor because that's what women did in technology. And I was interviewing for these big companies in St. Louis. And even though I was teaching people, and I had all these certifications, I couldn't get a job as an engineer because I didn't look like an engineer. I would walk in and I'd do a technical interview and I'd nail it, but because of this unconscious bias, I didn't look like an engineer. And that pretty much sucked. Right? It really did. So what do all these photos have in common? These have been taken throughout my career. I worked at a company called CDW for 10 years. There I am with my team. There I am with my team. There I am, taking a picture from behind a group. There I am presenting to a group. I was presenting to a group one time. Actually, I was pregnant with Corey, right there. That was in, I was 28 years old.
I was born in 96.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah. So I was kind of maybe 29 years old and about 9 months pregnant, and there were 300 men in the room, and there were people standing in the back, and it was at Novell. And at that point, it was at the Salt Palace that year. So it had actually moved out of BYU's campus. And I thought, how funny it would be if I went into labor right then. I was kind of hoping for it, because they would freak out and not know what to do. And I thought, I can't get a job as an engineer, but I've got 300 plus men listening to a session I'm doing on troubleshooting. How ridiculous is this concept? So again, you guys get the theme, right? I can't get a job as an engineer because I'm a woman, yet they'll all come to hear me speak. How ridiculous is this concept? But here's one of the best parts. Look at this picture. I never had to wait in line in a restroom. Never ever had to wait in that line, and they all did. And when they saw me taking that picture, they thought it was pretty darn funny. But you know what? I'd walk around every conference, everybody knew my name because I was one of the few women who showed up. So I made a name for myself because I was one of the few women. I walked in a room, everybody knew my name. As a matter of fact, I was in Grand Rapids and I hadn't been there for probably 15 years. And a guy says to me, he goes, "Hey Rita." I'm like, "How the heck did you know me?" And he's like, "I remember you because you're the only woman." I'm like, "How cool is that?" So, hey, being the only woman, not a bad deal, right? So I decided one of the only ways I can get out of this niche where I'm thought of as the instructor is I'm going to start consulting, doing my own consulting gig. So I landed Cisco as one of my big clients for consulting. That's a pretty darn big gig. So I was doing leading projects, I was doing training for them, back to training, right? I go to Dusseldorf, Germany, where I'm teaching CCIEs, okay, highest level certifications. Did you get that? I'm teaching German engineers in Germany. I walk in, I'm a woman, their jaw hits the floor. And I've got a guy in the front row with a laser pointer.
Oh boy.
And in the US, class is it's like an 8-hour class. Class is supposed to be over at 4 o'clock. 3 o'clock, everyone's like ready to go, out the door. In Germany, class is supposed to be over at 4, 4:30, they're ready to leave. He doesn't understand the way I explain something, he's got his laser pointer. Explain that again. First time I've ever taught this class, first time consulting. If the floor could have opened up and swallowed me, I would have been happy. I'm like, I've already explained it. This is all I've got in the tank. If I was not halfway across the world, if I could crawl under the desk, I just wanted to die. I'm like, what did I get myself into? I went home, back to the hotel. And I thought, what am I gonna do? And I opened up my books and I got online and I spent that entire evening going back through the content, going online, researching anything he thought I didn't answer appropriately, going back through the material even though I thought I was prepared. And I did the same thing every single night. Even though I was jet lagged, I spent half the night every night preparing. And I had to have that intestinal fortitude to know that I could do it, and I had it in me, and I could give it all I had to succeed. And that no matter how much he was going to challenge me, that I had it in me to be the best I could possibly be. And to know that I could succeed, no matter what. And guess what? Best decision I ever made. Because I could have said, I'm out of here. But I didn't do it. Now, on to, that was my toughest challenge. My most unusual. Anyone ever heard of this country, Paramaribo, Suriname? I hadn't either. The guy called me from Aruba to do a consulting job. And then he calls me after I already agreed and signed a contract that I didn't read very well and said, guess what? Just want to make sure you got your shots. I said, I've been to Aruba before. What are you talking about? He goes, oh no, this is in Suriname, which is in South America. Great experience. I helped them set up the internet so they could bring it to their homes. Spent 4 weeks in Suriname, 2 different times. That's the president of Suriname. When else does a woman from Fenton, Missouri get to meet the president of a country and get invited to the U.S. Embassy? Don't be afraid of a challenge. Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. My son recently went to India. He said, I don't want to go. It was a remote location in India. He's like, they don't serve liquor and they don't serve beef. He's 26 years old. That was like scary for him. He didn't want to go. He came back a week later. By the way, he works for WWT also. It was a great experience. Get out of your comfort zone. So after doing my consulting gig, you know what changed? Where I could get a job as an engineer? The women in IT movement. You guys are all at a great spot because guess what? We need diversity in the workforce. I actually told my daughter this the other day. She's all excited about all the opportunities that she's got coming her way as she's ready to graduate. And I said, hold on, dear. Be humble. Because guess what? There's going to be 10 resumes from men and 1 from you as a woman. And guess what? You're going to get looked at every time because you're a woman. Because we need diversity today. So be humble. Be humble about that. So what changed for me was I am a woman as an engineer. And so I landed a job 11 years ago as a pre-sales engineer. Anyone ever heard of that? So, you know how salespeople wine and dine people? That's their job. They need somebody who's technical to go with them to wine and dine people. They need someone who's technical to go with them to be in the suite at the hockey game and at the Cardinals game and to fly all over the country and attend all the schmoozy events. Does that sound cool? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Who doesn't have to worry about having the pressure of the sales numbers and all that like ugly stuff of sales, but gets all the benefits. So cool stuff, yeah. You've seen some cool stuff, right? You know who that is? It's Lou Brock, right? Yeah. So all kinds of cool stuff that I've gotten to do in this field. Do I get the steak lunches? Oh yeah. And the happy hours? Oh yeah. As a pre-sales engineer role. So I did that role for about 11 years. Anybody who's currently working in technology, if you want your kids to go into technology, here's what you do. Take them to the conferences. If you go to technical conferences, take your kid once they turn 20, 21, so that they get to go to the parties with you. Who doesn't want Universal Studios shut down and you get free, like, run from ride to ride at Universal Studios, right? What 21-year-old's going to turn that down? So here's some of the things that you happen to do when you're at these conferences. And you can see my daughter's in a lot of these pictures with me because I think she's been to, what, 6 or 7 of the conferences?
At least.
Yeah. No, she was going to go into medicine and just take her to conferences. Same thing with my son. He was going to go into medicine, take her to a couple conferences. They're like, ah, technology is awesome, right? So yeah, working in technology is a freaking phenomenal career because there are so many rewards. We get to do some incredible things. Now, some advice I have for you. You may be into coding. You may be into various avenues of technology, but there's so many things to do. I know enough about coding to be dangerous, but you know what I do most of the time? I use my mouth. That's what I do. I talk. I speak. In my opinion, the sweet spot is going from getting paid for what you do to getting paid for what you know. A skill everyone should have is public speaking. Get out of your comfort zone. To go from getting paid for what you do to getting paid from what you know and getting into leadership is those soft skills. Being able to speak. So getting from that $100,000 to $250,000 annually. Being able to get in front of a crowd. Being able to speak. Okay? So just some things to think about, some classes to take. What else do you get to do at these conferences? Private concerts. Does this sound like something you guys want to do? Oh, heck yeah, right? Some other cool things I get to do? I do a lot of mentoring around the globe. Travel all over the world, mentoring kids. These are actually Cisco's new hires. So technology careers are very rewarding. Get to do a lot of things with my family as a result of all the travel that I do professionally. So, like I said, there's a lot of pain that goes into it, right? You got to study, you got to learn, you need to stay on top of technology. There's no coasting. But there's so much reward, and there's difficult times and challenging times like the guy in Dusseldorf. But it's so, so worth it, guys. So find your passion, right? Because if you find your passion, you never work a day in your life. Find your passion. Take a look at this. Information technology jobs are predicted to be among the fastest growing through 2024. What does that mean? Right? The green stuff. It means there's demand for these careers. And specifically, look at these areas. If you're not sure what these areas are, write them down, research them. You've got my email address now. Don't hesitate to reach out. Send me an email. Okay, if you want to know more about any of these areas, send me an email. I'm not kidding. I'm never too busy for any of you to reach out. Actually, you know what? If you want to learn more about these areas, go to wwt.com, read an article, watch a video. All of these areas, you can watch a 3 to 5 minute video and learn about these areas. Shoot, you don't even need to log in to watch a video or read an article. You only need to log in to run a lab. So lots of places to learn. So, to wrap up, back in 1984 when I was told by my dad that women did not need to go to college, what did I do? I believed in myself. Right? Had I not believed in myself, where would I be today? At home? A receptionist somewhere, maybe? Maybe making $30,000 a year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or a nurse. So my mom told me I could be a nurse or a secretary or a teacher or a bank teller because then you got to play with money.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't have it. Yeah, I would not have traveled all over the world. I would not have inspired my children to be engineers. Yeah, I would not have the life I have today had I not believed in myself. So even if nobody else believes in you, believe in yourself. And because you guys are all here today and you gave up your Saturday to be here, you all now have my contact information. And because you gave up your Saturday to be here, I believe in you all. And don't hesitate to reach out to me. Use the resources I showed you today. If you all are interested in internships with Worldwide, it's a great company. Not only will you learn about technology, you'll also learn soft skills, okay? So don't hesitate to contact me, all right? Good luck to the winners today, and I hope you all had a great day. And I'm off to my gala. I didn't dress up for you guys. I have other plans. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.